Okay, this is 8.3. Just ignore the date on the top. This was finished last week. We're just trying to catch up with this new format. So 8.3, going back to chapter 7, you're now using the distributive property where you would multiply through the brackets to solve our first example. 3 is outside of the brackets. You need to multiply 3 times d and by 0.4. Again, remembering anything on the other side of the equal sign stays alone. Leave it alone till later. So 3 times d will be 3d plus 3 times 0.4 is 1.2 equals still negative 3.9. Now, this looks like we just did an 8.2 with two-step equation, so isolate the variable and solve for d. So we will subtract 1.2 from each side, canceling it there, leaving 3d on the left, equal negative 5.1. Our last step now is isolate d on its own. So we will divide 3 by both sides. It is being multiplied by d. So finally we have d by itself equals negative 1.7. So there is your final answer for our first example. Second example. Now a little more complicated. You've got a division and subtraction and a fraction. It's not as complicated as it looks. First thing we're going to want to do is move this 5 over to the right hand side to get rid of the division. So just erase that. So 5 is being divided by, so multiply both sides by 5. That 5 will cancel, leaving just t minus 1. And then 5 times 3 over 2 will be 7.5. Just clean that up. 7.5. Now finally the last step, you have t and minus 1. Add 1 to both sides. So we can isolate t. So you will get, as a final answer, 8.5. Again, remember, keep it in fraction form if it starts out like that, because your options on the PAT will also remain in fraction form. So for now you can stop and work on number 6 and number 8 on page 319. Make sure again you're checking your answers and referring back to the 2 examples we just did in case you're stuck at any point. Alright, next will be problem solving, as always. Alicia purchased 8 boxes of DVDs on sale for $43.20. Each box was on sale at a discount of $3.25 per box. Write and solve an equation to find the regular price of each box. Again, we have a total, so that will go on the right hand side of the equal sign. Now you have boxes of DVDs on sale. You want to find the price of each box and then multiply that by how many boxes were sold. As a result, price for each box, the regular price will be X. Each one is on sale for $3.25 each. Alicia bought 8 of them, so you have to multiply the price of each sale one times 8. So now, cleaned up a little bit. Again, use the distributive property, so 8 times x, 8 times 3.25, so you will get 8x minus 26 equals 43.20. Now to remove the 26 and move it to the right, you'll add 26 to both sides. 26 cancels on the left, leaving just 8x equal to $69.20. And our last step now, divide both sides by 8. Same thing that you've seen over and over now. And you will have x equal to $8.65. And there's our answer for our problem solving. Next thing, we're going to run through 3 former provincial exam questions just so you start to get an idea of what those will look like and how to solve them. First one. A truck heads north at a constant speed of 80 kilometers per hour. A car leaves 20 minutes later heading north along the same route and traveling at a speed of 90 kilometers per hour. So the question asks you, which of the following equations could be used to determine how much time in hours the car travels until it catches up to the truck? There's a few key things to look at here. The first one is that it wants your answer in hours. You're given minutes at the beginning, but since your answer is going to be in hours, you can already cross out a few of the options. C and D both have 20 indicating 20 minutes, whereas A and B have 1 over 3. 20 minutes over 60 minutes in an hour simplifies to 1/3. Anything with 1/3 here, let's erase that and fix it. Anything with 1/3 refers to the hours, so you can already cross out C and cross out D. Secondly, on the left-hand side of the equal sign is all 90 times T. That is our car. So we just put a little C here for car. And the right-hand side is the truck. Now looking at A and B, if the truck has a 20-minute head start or 1/3 of an hour head start, he gains time, or she gains time. So your answer then is B, because the truck has an extra 20-minute or 1/3 of an hour head start. Okay, this is one of the harder ones you will see. When it was on the exam a few years ago, it was the most difficult question. There are multiple steps here to solve this, so we'll try and go through it slow. Again, you have the opportunity to reverse this and watch it again if you need to, but I would learn how to solve this type of question. So a piggy bank contains only quarters and nickels, and there's a total of 60 coins. The total value of coins in the bank is $7.40. Question wants to know how many quarters are in the piggy bank. To solve this, you're going to have 2 equations. The first one, you have a certain number of quarters plus a certain number of nickels to equal 60 coins in the piggy bank. It doesn't matter how much they are. All we know is there's quarters and nickels, and there's a total of 60. Secondly, you know the total amount of money in the piggy bank is $7.40. A quarter is worth 25 cents, or 0.25, and a nickel is worth 0.05 times n for 5 cents. Now you have 2 equations. You have 2 variables, whereas all you're trying to solve for here are the quarters. In order to do this, we will manipulate this first formula so that we can substitute it in for n right there. So to do that, in order to do this, we will isolate n. So we will subtract q from both sides. So this equation, this is going to get a little messy, so bear with me, will become n equals 60 minus q. All we do is subtract q from both sides to get n on its own. And now we're going to take all of this and substitute it in where you see that n. So hopefully you're still with me. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and then we'll keep going. Okay, kind of reorganized and cleaned up, so we'll continue on here. So this n right here, we're going to substitute the 60 minus q. So this becomes 0.25 times q plus 0.05 in brackets 60 minus q, still equaling $7.40. Now all we have left are q representing quarters and of any more nickels, so now we can actually go through and solve it to find how many quarters are in the piggy bank. Let's clean this up, minus q. So multiply through both brackets, so 0.25 q is still there, plus 0.05 times 60 is 3, and 0.05 multiplied by a negative q will be minus 0.05, and all of it will still equal, so recenter things, equal $7.40. Now the last part is you have two sets of like terms. You have two q terms and two constant terms without a variable. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides, so that we have a constant term on the right of $4.40, and then on the left 0.25 minus 0.05 will be 0.2 q. Don't forget the variable. Our last step now is to divide 0.2 from both sides. So we'll divide 0.2 from there, and from here they both cancel, and we get q to equal 22 quarters. So there's your answer. This would be a numeric response question, so on the answer sheet you would put in 22. Fortunately, all of that work is still only worth 1 mark, same as the question beforehand, but that's the way they do it in the provincial exams sometimes. Last example, much easier. Okay, final question. Art Star is having a sale. The table below shows the regular price, represented by R, and the sale price represented by S of several items, and they give you several things you would find in an art store. Question is asking which of the following equations was used to calculate the sale prices. You'll see S on the left hand side, which is sale price, and R on the right, which is the regular price. Fastest and easiest way is to look at each formula, put numerous numbers in for R, and make sure they equal the sale price. To make sure you have the right answer, make sure you find at least 2 that are correct, whether it's glue and brushes or paper and crayons or some combination. The correct answer here, and I'll save you the work, will be B, because when S equals 0.85 times 5, the sale price is $4.25. If you look at brushes, paper, crayons, the same will also be true. So your final answer here is B. Your homework, page 319 to 321, those numbers there that are listed. Again, please check your answers and make sure you focus on the problem solving, because that is, as you saw in those examples from the PAT, exactly the kind of questions they're going to ask you. Good luck, and let me know if you have any problems.